Welcome to another conversation off the clock. Hi, I'm Carmina Constantino Torres and this is Casey After Hours.
Kaya yan, ano na lang sasabihin ng mga kaklase ng daddy mo. I wasn't okay with my family and I was in between jobs. Let's not talk about it anymore. Iko-correct ko talaga sila. Sabi ko, no, this is my boyfriend. So my entire world was just shattered nung time na yan. Nanay mo pa rin yan. Tatay mo pa rin yan. So it kind of invalidates also. But I also went through these things.
Magic flows from his fingertips. The country's most breathtaking faces transformed even further as he brings out their beauty from within. But that's them. Looking at himself, he didn't see his own beauty, the reflection staring back at him he'd rather not lock eyes with. But that's then. Now, one of the nation's premier makeup artists, Jigs Mayuga, is thriving. Stripped bare of the glitz and glamour, he is winning. And he joins us today to tell us his story beyond the makeup chair. Jigs, so excited to finally have this talk with you. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I have been rooting for you from the moment that I first knew of you as a makeup artist. Ilang dekada na rin ang nakakaraan. But thanks for coming to the pod.
Oh, thanks for having me. Oh my God, it is such an honor to be here.
I mean, you are known as, one of the country's premier makeup artists, and makeup artists to the stars. But it wasn't always this way. I mean, now I see you. Talk about being multi-hyphenated. Ang dami mong ginagawa. But it wasn't always this way. Talk to us about the origin story. How did becoming a flight attendant lead you to the industry of beauty?
Okay. So, actually, my background is really... I went to a science high school. I actually went to Manila Science High School.
Amazing.
So I actually thought I would go into the sciences when I got older. So, but then when I went to UP, I was in engineering. I was in industrial engineering because I graduated from high school at 15. I started studying kasi at 3. Kasi nainggit ako dun sa sister ko. Sabi ko sa mommy ko, gusto ko na mag-aral at 3 years old. So wala, I went to kindergarten school at 3 years old. And then I graduated high school at 15. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And a lot of my classmates, they all took the entrance exam to UP and they all wrote engineering. So sabi ko, since math and science naman yung forte natin, mag-engineering tayo. And then mga second year, third year of college, parang ayoko na ng math and science. Parang sawang-sawa na ako sa math and science. So, but I do enjoy talking to people. I guess you could say I was an introvert when I was young, but in college I became kind of an extrovert because it somehow evolves, I guess. And then, naisip ko, ang dami kong mga friends who were in hotel and restaurant administration sa UP. So, nag-shift ako. I graduated hotel and restaurant with a degree in hotel and restaurant administration from UP. Tapos yun, iniisip ko kasi noon, at the same time, nag-out ako sa parents ko kasi when I was 20. Well, in UP nung time na yun, konti lang kami na out.
Yeah.
Kasi it was the 90s.
Right.
I was invited to join Babaylan.
Correct.
But I did join instead Amnesty International Philippines. So I'm a big human rights advocate. So those are my roots. I'm a big LGBTQIA+ rights advocate, but because my roots are really human rights.
Human rights.
Yes.
Okay. So sabi nila, okay, graduated, you came out to your parents, and then when did the flight attendant job come in?
I felt like when I came out, my parents became even more strict because they felt like they didn't, parang ayaw nila ako mapariwara, so to speak. And I felt like the only way I would be able to assert myself as an individual was to find a high-paying job immediately after college. And that the way to do that was to become a flight attendant. That was my goal, to be able to move out of Alabang.
You frame it as, you needed a high-paying job, but at the back of that, the story was yung parents mo suddenly became stricter and all that. So I guess you actually needed wings to fly out. And that must have been so exhilarating.
It was. Also because I did go through a lot growing up. I actually sorted through a lot of my generational trauma recently. I did go through some sort of group therapy and some healing. It made me realize kasi when I came out that a lot of of the things that I knew about being gay growing up were a product of my parents' own generational trauma and the way they thought about being gay, and it's still changing now. So yeah, nung time na yun, parang feeling ko I really just had to assert myself as an individual. I did enjoy being a flight attendant, actually. I did it for 4 years. But unfortunately, because of 9/11 and SARS, I don't know if you remember SARS, yeah. Because
Mga
this was
lumang tao na lang
yes. So this
nakakatanda.
this was also coronavirus disease,
Correct.
but that was the earlier version of it. Unfortunately, I got laid off after 4 years. I wanted to be. I actually thought I was gonna be a flight attendant
For
forever.
life.
Yes, because I really enjoyed doing it.
But
yeah.
during your stint as a flight attendant, you would also do the makeup of your colleagues.
Oh my God, you know that? Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I do my research.
Yes, I love it. So, actually, since magka-contemporary tayo, pareho tayong batang 90s, yung interest ko in doing other people's makeup was because of the movie Clueless.
Si Maring Alicia.
Yes,
Oo.
yes. Na-inspire ako sa kanya. So actually, nung college, trip ko yan yung parang mag-gather ako ng mga friends, tapos mag-shopping kami, tapos bibilang ko sila ng makeup. And take note, hindi pa ako out niyan, na. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was something that I really enjoyed. So even after I came out and after I became a flight attendant, kunyari after the service, kukulitin ko yung mga ibang flight attendants. Oh, punta tayo sa galley, gawin ko yung makeup nyo. So it was really something that I enjoyed. I liked the process of seeing the before and after.
Oh, okay. This is a passion. I have something here. Can you actually tell us if there was a certain moment when you discovered the passion?
So when I was younger, I would always sneak into my sister's rooms and play with their Barbie dolls. So ayusan ko sila ng buhok. And then eventually, I moved on to makeup nga and doing the makeup of other people. I guess it was really when after I do their makeup and they look at their faces in the mirror na parang na-amaze sila with I mean, and also my style. If you see my makeup style, I mean I do editorial work, but it veers more towards natural beauty.
Yes.
So it's really more just doing little tweaks here and there. So yeah, and the general impression is after I do somebody's makeup is parang, I still look like myself.
Correct. I was going to say that because some people maganda yung makeup but they can't recognize themselves, right? But when did you start though to think that wait a minute, I'm transforming people, yes, but it's more than that. It's like bringing out the beauty that's within with little tweaks here and there. When did you think that, okay, this is going to be my style, I'm going to own this style, and this is going to be sort of pag film yan auteur, diba? This is going to be your trademark.
So I do get inspired by a lot of music videos and films. So a lot of music videos from Janet Jackson, Madonna, all these R&B stars from the 90s. But then I did experiment with a lot of different looks, but only until I really started doing editorial work, maybe in the first 2 years of my career, did I really hone into like, okay, this is gonna be my style. This is gonna be the style of makeup I do on most clients. Of course, depending on like whether it's an editorial or whether it's a shoot that requires a certain look. But if it is a certain client, and I think rin naman, like if you want to transform your entire face, preference din naman yan, di ba? You hire a makeup artist who can do that.
Yeah.
But then I feel like a lot of my clients approach me because they know that my style is like that.
Sometimes, and correct me if I'm wrong, the more minimalist you go, is it correct to assume that it's actually harder?
Yes.
Because you're not covering up.
Yes.
So what's the technique there?
So in terms of beauty makeup kasi, if you ask any makeup artist, if you work on a set for a skincare ad or a skincare commercial, mas detalyado yan, mas mahirap actually gawin yung no makeup kaysa sa putok na makeup. Yeah. So it's really more years of experience because I have to admit a lot of what I know now is from trial and error. Because at first you're like, maybe I need to pile on a lot of foundation to make the skin look flawless. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, you have HD cameras now and 4K cameras where you can see like if the foundation is actually really just floating on top of the skin. It doesn't set properly. So a lot of the techniques have evolved through the years. But for me, at least, And now with like how very macro cameras are and how they can capture all of these details, less is more. I think we talked about that before we started.
Yeah.
I feel like if you have great skin, you don't really need to cover it up. Unlike before, I think the standard was kahit maganda yung balat, tatapalan mo, tapos you have to start with a blank canvas.
Correct.
I think it has evolved in a sense that it's good if you see a little texture. It's good if you see actually real skin underneath all of that.
And little bits of flaws.
Yes.
Diba? And,
Yes.
and the beauty marks. Yung iba nga nagdadagdag pa
Yes.
ng mga beauty marks. When did you realize that I can make a living out of this?
I took a 6-month course in cosmetology. So it was 3 months hair and 3 months makeup. So fun fact actually, nag-aaral ako ng hair cutting, ng hairstyling, ng hair color because 3 months yon. And then part of it was also salon management. So a lot of the people who took it were people who wanted to open their own salons.
Correct.
I really enrolled for the sole purpose of becoming a makeup artist. But I had to take the entire course kasi. And it
was a
actually, in the end,
package.
it helped me. Because nung time na yon, nung panahon ng 2000s, kung makeup artist ka, expected na may mga shoots. Diba dati, pag nakita mo yung credits, hair and makeup by.
Correct.
Hindi ka tulad ngayon, separate na yung hair sa makeup. So, it did help me early on in my career. Yeah, kasi ang dami kong shoots na nakuha kasi marunong ako mag-hair.
Do you remember your first paycheck? How much it was?
Oh my God. Okay, my first paycheck was a print ad for fast food chain. I won't say na lang which fast food chain. It was like a male talent, female talent, and a kid. Parang pamilya siya. And I remember shooting it in that restaurant along C5. Sarado na siya. 10K. 10K.
Okay. And then, pero nung time na yun, kumikita ka na.
No, so when
pa.
I got laid off and when I was studying makeup, this was, so binigay ito sa akin ng teacher ko sa makeup. Kasi sinasabi sa kanya, my savings are almost gone. So I needed a job.
Walang duda, Jigs, that you really are passionate with your craft, that you really love makeup and this industry of beauty. But did the industry love you back right away? Did you get that love right away? Or hindi? Did you have a bad experience in the beginning or did they welcome you with open arms?
So I would have to say it did entail a lot of hard work. It did entail a lot of free work actually. Nung time na yon, I did a lot of work for free for newspapers. So nung time na yun, ex-deal yung mga pag mag-makeup ka for a magazine. Because I did work for a makeup brand.
What was happening in the home front at that time? Because this was post-flight attendant job. And looking back, you know, we were saying a while ago that you needed that job to prove something. You needed a high-paying job. You needed wings to fly out of a stricter environment. You got laid off. Now you're doing this. What was happening at home?
When I was in FA, nag-guest ako sa Talk TV with my ex from college. So they wanted to feature this is no longer politically correct, straight acting gay men. To say straight acting na, di ba?
Okay,
so, nung time na yon, so, nag-guest kami. So, parang yung sobrang politically incorrect pa, yung parang, sayang. Yun yung narrative ng buong episode na sayang. Kasi, ganito yung itsura, ganyan. So, I remember, I told my parents and my family that I was gonna guest on the show. Sobra silang nag-freak out.
But at this point, they knew already, right?
They knew already.
Pero gusto nila, tayo-tayo lang.
Yes. So, parang, nung time na yon, inaway ako ng mga sisters ko. Sinasabi na, our dad. Kasi nung time na yon, my dad retired kasi the head of the Philippine Navy eh. I don't know if you remember the Mayuga report.
Of course.
That's my father, Rear Admiral Mateo Mayuga. Yeah.
Okay.
So, nung time na yun, he was about to retire pa lang. So, kasagsagan na nung career niya yun eh. Tapos, parang, ang sinasabi sa akin nung family ko, parang, nakakaya yan, ano na lang sasabihin ng mga kaklase ng daddy mo. But then, yun nga, parang, in my mind, parang this is something I have to do for myself and for my community. Because if I show people that it's okay, kasi nung time na yun, konti pa lang yung mga visible na mga out and proud na mga lesbian and gay advocates eh. So sabi ko, it's really something that I had to do. Nung time na yun, they made a big deal out of my guesting on Talk TV.
So, tinuloy mo pa din?
Tinuloy ko pa rin. Hindi nila ako kinausap for months. So isipin mo na lang, lalo sila nag-freak out nung gagawin ko yung show. Kasi I was gonna host an LGBT magazine show and it was the first of its kind in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Mataas yung ratings namin, Casey, but ang kalaban namin yun yung controversial ni Tito Boy. Mataas yung ratings namin. It was a late night show pero wala kaming ads. So, the network had to cancel the show after 13 episodes. Pero dun na ako na-throw into the whole entertainment and beauty scene. Kasi na-expose na ako sa mga artista, sa mga personalities. Nung dun sa show, I was able to interview Melanie Marquez, Isa Seguera. So, dun na after nun, I went through kind of like a quarter life crisis because I wasn't okay with my family and I was in between jobs. Yun na yung parang I stumbled upon this makeup workshop by Mura. Kasi umattend ako ng mga workshop noon. I was trying to find myself.
Yeah.
And then I met Sing. And then that's when I applied at Mura as a makeup artist.
So when did you mend ties with your family?
After maybe a year, we got together. And then, so in my family, it's more parang, let's not talk about it anymore. And I think that's very... I don't know if it's very common among Pinoy. So parang, okay na yan, kalimutan na lang natin, mag-move on na lang tayo. So...
But you needed to talk?
Yes.
You needed to process it.
Yeah, I needed to process it. So, through the years, I would have a boyfriend, I would be in a relationship, like we would have a family get-together. Sasabihin ng parents ko, oh, just family ha. Ang sasabihin ko nun, so ano nga ako parang, I'm doing this because I want things to be better for us in the long run. I want you to be able to accept it, even though I know it's hard.
Yeah.
So, sasabihin ko, you know, I don't have the right to get married, not yet. My sisters have their partners. They're allowed to bring their husbands. I can't get married. So, I should be allowed to bring my partner.
Pinaglaban mo talaga.
Yeah, pinaglalaban ko talaga. And usually in family functions, sabihin, oh, friend ni Jigs. Iko-correct ko talaga sila. Sabi ko, no, this is my boyfriend. Like, kasi for me, parang these people need to know like who I am. And that I'm a good person.
Beyond all of their preconceived notions, at the end of the day, you just wanted to be seen as a person.
Yes, exactly. So, through the years, akala ko okay na. And then I met my now husband in 2019 because we both do CrossFit.
Yes.
So I'm also a CrossFit level 2 trainer on the side.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer and he also is a CrossFit coach on the side. So he's a CrossFit. At that time, we were both just CrossFit level 1 trainers. So we would meet at local competitions because CrossFit is both an exercise regimen and a sport. So, and nung time na yon, parang we were both single nung 20. So matagal na kami nag-uusap. We would talk about CrossFit on like sending each other DMs on social media. And then eventually we got together in 2019. In 2020, nung nag-lockdown, he was living on his own. I was living by myself. I told him, you know, you're living alone in QC and you're alone because of the lockdown. Why didn't you just move in? So we moved in together. During the lockdown kasi make or break yan. Either magpapatayan kayo.
Correct. Or malalike nyo talaga
yes, or
isa't isa.
magta-thrive kayo together. So, thankfully, it was the opposite. So in 2021, he proposed to me. So when things started opening up, he booked a trip to Bohol and he proposed to me in Bohol. So I told my parents, oh, nagpropose na si Ben, so I'm engaged. So 2023, we were gonna have a family trip. Parang we were gonna do a cruise around Alaska, an Alaskan cruise that was starting in Seattle. So sabi ko, sama si Ben. So the entire family was gonna be there. I was thinking, since we were already in North America, we might as well get married now while we're there, because we wanted to get married in a state where it's legal.
So it's San Francisco.
Yeah, so that's why.
But at this point, everything was good.
Yeah, I thought everything was good.
You thought everything.
I thought everything was good.
Okay, and then what happened?
So I thought the work that I have been doing was enough through the years. I think a month or two before the wedding, my dad met up with me. We had coffee, and then he told me that they were not going to the wedding because it was against their religious beliefs. So my entire world was just shattered nung time na yan.
So were you thinking, but what about your love for me?
Exactly. Actually, a friend of mine, when I told her about what happened, what she said was, it really stuck to me. But you're their son. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so we decided to push through with the wedding. We invited our friends and our chosen families.
So that's why, which we're gonna go later, but because when I read through your Instagram feed, you mentioned somewhere there that the past 2 years have been quite the roller coaster ride, which we're gonna go to later on. Mm-hmm. Okay, but first let's go back to the industry. Are you one of those who think, because nga lumang tao tayo dito dalawa, but because you had to go through all of these things to perfect your craft, and then here comes, the newer generation can get it at an instant. Mm-hmm. Is there a part of you that thinks, parang ano ba naman, parang they can't do it. Mm-hmm. They have to go through exactly what I went through. Are you of that thinking or no?
No, not at all. Kasi parang they are provided these tools and parang we laid the groundwork for them also So parang for me, talagang digital natives sila, and they're surrounded by so much content. They consume so much content. So ang dami nilang pwedeng pagpilian. Tsaka buong-buo na rin yung makeup style ng mga kilala ko ng mga makeup artists. Kasi nga they've been exposed to all of this for such a long time. Like yung mga 20-something now, teens nung 2016. So parang nung kasagsagan ng YouTube. So talagang exposed sila sa mga beauty creators. Yeah. So for me, I think ang kailangan lang pagtuunan ng pansin is to make sure that they understand na hindi siya panghabang buhay. So, at an early age, kailangan isipin nyo na rin yung business side nung pagiging makeup artist. Kasi parang pagiging artista yan, like at 47, I work out, but I also get tired easily. And doing makeup is very physical. The setup, the packing up, the long hours on set. So, parang eventually, bibigay din yung katawan mo di ba? So, kailangan mong mag-invest.
A lot of consumers now, of course, they're, on their social media and all that, because of the proliferation of all these different kinds of products, one can easily get confused. Ano ba dapat ang bibilin? Especially yung mga bago pa lang, hindi pa alam, di ba? So, in the Jigs Mayuga book of essentials, what are the must-haves that one must have in the kit? Okay.
So, first, you need a good quality foundation. So,
kailangan ba mahal?
No, not at all. Not at all. So, my favorite foundation is actually a drugstore foundation. Yeah. And it works perfectly fine. Compared to my other luxury foundations, because I get seeded a lot of makeup. Of course, choose a foundation that matches your skin tone. Of course, a lot of Filipinas are concerned about oxidation. So, I come from that school of thought na pag nagpupunta ng counter, ang sasabihin sa amin, sorry kasi acidic ako.
Oo nga.
Nakakatawa. Yung term na acidic na yan, very Pinoy term yan. So, parang yun yung nagda-darken daw yung foundation. So, gusto nila 2 shades or 3 shades lighter.
Hindi totoo yan.
Well, it does happen because some foundation formulations, they oxidize. So, they darken. Yeah. The same way a banana oxidizes, right? So, the proper term is it oxidizes.
Hindi acidic.
Yes. Well, I don't know where that came from, but very common yan, lalo na when I was working at the makeup counters. Since we live in a tropical country and it's very humid, kailangan rin natin mag-powder ng konti. So I also use powder, but very sparingly. Okay. But of course, if you're younger, you can get away with a lot of powder. But as somebody in their late 40s, I try to avoid putting too much powder around the eyes where the skin is thinner because nagsisettle siya around the line. For those who are starting out with a basic kit, I will not recommend doing eyeshadow because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I would invest in a cream blush that could double as an eyeshadow because you can do a monochromatic look using that same cream blush for your eyes and lips. Just make sure that the product is eye safe. And then, of course, kilay.
Okay.
Kilay, hindi pwedeng mawala ang kilay. So for me, kilay. So invest in a good eyebrow product. So depending on like how comfortable you are with pencil or powder, it really is up to you. And for me, more than mascara, invest. Kasi nga, minsan nagsismearing mascara because of the weather. If for everyday, invest in a good eyelash curler.
You know what? I won't also mention my name, but my eyelash curler has been with me for like
Same. Ay, that brand, that Japanese brand. Yun. Yes.
Diba? Kahit
Yes.
hindi mo paltan yung rubber, it
Yes.
stays.
Yes. Yes.
After all that you said, Jigs, you are a person of authority when it comes to makeup and beauty and all that. But as you touched on a while ago, it wasn't always this way because you're presenting this face to the world. But as you mentioned a while ago, there was something else happening in your personal life. So you mentioned a while ago that, you know, things weren't working well in the home front, right? You had a wedding, two of the most important people in your life, they weren't there. Where are you now? In terms of healing, how did you get to this place now?
I took the weekend workshop. It's called Reparenting the Child Within. It's a 3-day workshop. It's a group therapy session where you have 3 psychologists handling the attendees. It was a weekend of getting to know my inner child and we were given the tools to be able to heal our own generational trauma. So I'm really big on healing and finding out like what happened to you during childhood and what those triggers are and why you act the way you act as an adult. I realized also that there were things I had to work on because I also have a lot of triggers that are very recent because of what happened during the wedding.
Yeah.
So that's really what prompted me to go through that weekend workshop. But right now, because the wounding has been very recent, because when you go to the workshop, they always say that we are not here to pin the blame onto your parents because they're
Yeah.
now mostly senior citizens. Because they were only doing the best that they could also with what they know at the time. But with in my case kasi parang the wounding was very recent.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm what you call no contact with my family because I really need to heal first and be ready to be able to talk to my parents and my family. I think we all come from this thinking kasi and very common siya. And even si Tita H mentioned it dun sa workshop na laging sinasabi ng mga tao, but you know, nanay mo pa rin yan, tatay mo pa rin yan.
Yes.
So it kind of invalidates also, but I also went through these things.
Yes.
Yeah, I also have to deal with these things. So I'm not ready to just interact with them just yet because I also want to be able to heal first.
Do you think you'll ever get to that place of acceptance, not just of yourself, but of them as well? And that will ultimately heal both sides.
Agree. And even my husband has been talking to me about that. I am slowly getting there, but unfortunately, there have been other incidents recently. And I that's why I feel like I need to distance myself maybe just a little longer to be able to heal and to be able to get to that mindset where I just have to accept that things are just really the way they are.
So we've been talking about your personal life, your struggles, your achievements, right? Career-wise as well, and in the personal life as well. Reading through your timeline on Instagram, I came across this letter that you wrote to your 7-year-old self, Jig. And this is what you wrote. You said the past 2 years have been a roller coaster of emotions for us. Kinuwento mo na yan kanina. Not everyone knows what we have struggled through despite the happy facade, but we continue learning, we continue fighting, and we strive to be the best version of ourselves. We made it to 47, Jig. Happy birthday to us. Much love, Jigs. You wrote this a couple of months back, April 17. But that was you to 7-year-old Jig. What do you think Jig would tell you now, knowing that this was your sentiment and seeing how far you've come?
I think he's gonna be very proud of what we've achieved together because he's still a big part of me. I think the strength I have now is because of all of his experiences growing up. I won't delve into all of those details, but part of the reason why I am an outspoken LGBTQIA plus advocate, I which is why you resonate with me, is because I am not afraid to call bullshit. Yeah. So that's because of what he's been through, and I want him to. I'm sure he would say that. Thank you for paving the way for other kids like me who are having a hard time. Kaya siguro ganun na lang yung pagpapahalaga ko sa LGBTQI plus youth, kasi I don't want them to go through the same things that I went through. The same things that Jig went through when he was younger.
Jigs Mayuga, thank you so much for showing up today, for showing up for your brothers and sisters, for showing up for your 7-year-old self, for showing up for people who continue to struggle, and for showing up for yourself. Thanks for doing that today, and thanks for the trust. Really appreciate you coming to the pod.
Thanks, Casey.
And that's it for another episode of Casey After Hours. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.